And once again, we are visited by the very excitable David Fine from the Heartlanders.
A morning guy. I'm a morning guy. I don't know if you guys knew that. Though recently the later PM David has been also excitable. The Heartlanders.
So Tuesday's game was the longest game in Heartlanders history. Went into 2 overtimes and well into the second overtime before the Heartlanders prevailed.
3 hours and 45 minutes, which means the broadcast lasted exactly 4 hours long. Actually, a little bit longer with the postgame.
It's not just Heartlanders history. That's a long hockey game.
Yeah, it is.
It was. Series is tied at 2.
Yeah, it's literally the definition of back and forth.
Yep.
You guys are 1-1 in Fort Wayne and now 1-1 in Coralville.
Now we got to take it home tonight to make it 2-1 in Coralville. Tonight's the last home game of the series. It's a best of 7. So today, get out there. I mean, we are really looking forward. Here's the thing. The first game 3 we lost, but it went to overtime, and that was really fun. Even though it was 7-6. I mean, it's like
there's a lot of scoring.
A lot of scoring. And then this last one was this gritty defensive game with a lot of drama in different ways. 3-2 in double overtime. Really exciting. Good scoring chances. Really good goaltending from both teams. If that doesn't float your boat, that these are the first 2 games, I don't know what else can.
Really.
And we'll see how, not every game takes 3 hours and 45 minutes, but the drama is certainly there when it does. And, normally it's a 2-hour and 2-hour, 20-minute game. But 7 o'clock tonight, we're at home trying to take a 3-2 series lead in the best of 7, which means that game 6 is now guaranteed in Fort Wayne coming up on Sunday as well. So tonight in Coralville, Sunday back in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And then we'll see if we'll need a 7th game in Fort Wayne on Tuesday.
Tuesday, right?
Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So it's really exciting. And, one of the things I love in particular about playoffs is the guys that step up. You never know who might get the overtime goal. Even Alex Ovechkin's the greatest goal scorer in NHL history now, right? He just scored the other day his first playoff overtime goal.
Really?
He's played in how many dozen? Maybe he's over 100 career. 100 career playoff games probably at least. And he just scored his first. So speaking to that with the Heartlanders, we have a defenseman from Hungary named Budapest, Hungary, named Zetany Hadobas, who played professional hockey overseas for a few years. This is his first year in North America. He scored 1 goal the entire season. He scored like 3 total goals in the last 3 years combined. And he scored the overtime winning goal in double overtime on a beautiful shot, probably the shot of his life. And then after the game, he was telling us that his parents stayed up from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. in Budapest to watch the game. And someone asked him, did they call you, text you? He goes, yeah, they texted me and they just said 2 words, which I don't know how many words in Hungarian, but in English translates to 2 words: nice snipe, because it was a beautiful shot. So
that is so cool.
That's it, and that's just the stuff you love about it. I mean, he's got a huge smile on his face. He's 22 years old. He's living in a country how many thousands of miles away from his home, and he becomes the hero of the night in Coralville. It's really cool stuff. Really cool stuff.
It really is.
So, what do teams do after playing back-to-back long games like that? How do they recover from that?
Well, yesterday was a full off day. No, if you wanted to go on the ice, you could, but it was, hey, get your rest, get what you need. Mm-hmm. I think what's more interesting, almost what happens between the overtimes, which is that, and this is where home ice advantage comes into play, that, normally there's snacks, there's granola bars, mm-hmm. there's bagels, there's bananas, there's all this stuff. But guys are eating. They're trying to replenish and keep their energy up. And there's stories of, if you're on the road, teams trying to order pizza, teams trying to, call a restaurant and can you get something here in the next 15 minutes? Just something to get it, to keep the body fresh. So it's actually kind of nice in Fort Wayne. If this happens again, there's a Meijer or a Kroger grocery store just right across the street, in addition to some other establishments. So it's we maybe that if this happens in Fort Wayne, maybe they'll get me on the horn and say, take a 15. You're using all your commercials in intermission. Go and run across the street and get us some bagels.
It's
and
time for a grocery run.
Grocery run, yeah. So that's it's just one of the neat things about the minors and about even in the NHL. You hear stories of pizzas being delivered and all this food, and how can we get our food sooner than the end of the game? And it's a really neat thing. But yesterday was a full rest day for the guys, and then today let's get it going in about 12 hours, 7:00 p.m. at Extreme Arena.
And there are tickets still available for tonight's game?
Yeah, tickets still available for tonight's game. And you actually just triggered my memory, which is that if you purchase a regularly priced ticket, you can find this link on our website. You get up to 2 free kids tickets for tonight's game.
Oh, really?
So
wow.
it's essentially a buy one, get 2 kids tickets for free.
Cool.
So
That's
17 and under. I mean, that's what that applies to. So, as long as you're not 18 or older, if you're 17 and younger, you apply for the 2 free kids tickets.
That's
which
great.
is 2 free youth. You have to do this online only. You have to buy it at the link on the website, and the link expires as the game starts. So at about 7:05 p.m. is when the link will become expired. But you have to buy it online only. But it's essentially a buy one, get 2 kids tickets for free, which is really neat.
That's really neat.
Yeah. So you can spend $15, $20 and get 3 tickets.
Yeah, and get leftover money for food.
Exactly. Exactly. Or some overtime snacks.
There you go. Yeah, so again, we keep pushing the point that hockey live is an outstanding experience. And if you haven't experienced it yet, tonight would be a great night to do it, because obviously the tension is going to be there. The electricity is going to be there. The players are going all out because it is the playoffs, and I like Coach Damon, basically saying, it's like a war when you go into playoffs, and it really has been. I mean, you guys have been pounding each other pretty good, and it's a lot of finesse and a lot of physicality at the same time.
With that arena too, there's not a bad seat, and you are right there wherever you sit in on the action. I mean, it seems like you're
right there.
You're
it's
a part of it.
Immersive.
Yeah.
Fort Wayne's a little different. Fort Wayne's 11,000 seats, and it's 6 levels, and I'm up on the top of the 6th. So
good
it's,
God.
It's a little bit less immersive up there. It's still fun. You get to see the game from different angles, obviously. But you're right that you can feel this sort of – once you get to game 3 or 4 in a series, I mean, the guys you get sick of the other team. You don't like them. They don't like you. They know what you're trying to do. You know what they're trying to do. It's one-on-one, man-on-man kind of stuff.
Not like me and Hunter.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And
By Friday, the tensions are high.
Yeah, exactly. And it's it's really it's just fun. Like, as a spectator, and I've had fun just talking about the games. How could you just not like the idea of just 20 players on each team really just going after each other cleanly? No one's trying to hurt anyone else.
Well, and of course, you don't want to be penalized, because
Exactly.
you don't want to be caught short on players, in playoff, especially in playoff games.
And so the speed and the physicality and the you get to know other players' tendencies, and you get to know their other people's game plan, and you get to know little idiosyncrasies. You'll see it on the ice of how certain players skate and move, and it's just so enjoyable. And regardless of how the rest of the series goes, it's best of 3 now. It started as a best of 7. The series is tied at 2.
Yep.
Best of 3 with the final home game of the series tonight. The Heartlanders looking to advance to the second round to play Toledo. So,
does Toledo have a bye, or if they swept their?
Toledo just swept their series,
Oh, okay.
so they get pretty much a week off.
And that can be good and bad.
You're absolutely correct, which is that Toledo's going to get a week off, but whoever they're playing, might be a little bit less rested, but a little bit more game ready,
Fresher, yeah.
And sort of mentally in the pace of a playoff hockey game. But that being said, I'd love for the Heartlanders to win tonight, and they would have done pretty much everything they could have taken a 3-2 series lead back to Fort Wayne, and seeing where the cards lie after that.
Well, I remember when you guys were heading up for the weekend up there, you said, we can come back with a win. That's a definite plus. And then, if you take 2 out of 3 here, that's another definite plus. And boy, putting the Heartlanders on the map, in the ECHL, and showing off the facility and everybody talking about what a great job Coach Damon's done and his staff and how hard the players work.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is that a run like this, if the Heartlanders, regardless of the rest of the series, but building that excitement, like here's what you missed kind of stuff, is so valuable for building a fan base. And I'm really excited to see, especially if the Heartlanders can, hopefully, we can win this round, and take on Toledo, what the next level of it looks like, because it sort of just raises the intensity and the fandom and the X and the Y and the Z to entirely another level. You're into the second round, and you see where it goes from there. So we'll see. But it starts with tonight. No one's trying to get too far ahead of themselves. Series is tied at 2, and looking forward to hopefully making it happen tonight.
And remember, if you buy an online ticket as an adult, you can get 2 kids in 17 and under for free tonight.
Yep. If you go to the link on the website, that's
IowaHeartlanders.com.
You're right.
All right. Thanks, David, and good luck we're going to look forward to a big game tonight.
Looking forward to it. I'll see you guys there.
Yep.
You never have to miss a minute of your favorite guys. Mike O'Mara, Rob